Enjoy the holiday season with the Alolan Festivities design, available on shirts, hoodies, mugs even. You can get one for yourself to wrap up nice and warm, or one for a present for a friend. Links to where you can get your own are in the description below. Hey Pokemon Masters, Birdkeepertoby here. I have been playing Pokemon Sun and Moon, and one of the things I love the most about when you play a new Pokemon game is talking to the whole range of new characters. You've got Hal and Hala and Lily and all the new trial captains, the new villainous teams, and even the NPCs. All of them have their own stories. Why are they where they are? What are their backstories? And as a Pokemon theorist, that is my favourite thing, researching into them, asking questions. And so while playing the game, I was making notes of things that I found particularly interesting. But one of the big things that happens at the end of the game, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, is one of the most obvious questions we need to answer, which is, who is Hal's dad? And by extension, who is Hala's son? So that is the big question of the day, and the reason I said something happens at the end of the game, and again I'm going to word it so ambiguously that you don't know what I'm talking about, is a character disappears off to Kanto. And upon learning this, Hal asks how far away is Kanto, and people say, oh, it's not too far away that we couldn't visit it from time to time. I wish they actually meant it. The point is, upon hearing about this character going to Kanto, he exclaims that, great, I'm going to go and travel the world myself, I'm going to find that person. Oh, and my dad. To which your mother character says, your dad? And he says, yeah, he's a powerful Pokemon trainer, but he didn't really like being the son of a kahuna. And the thing is, Hal says his father must work away from Alola quite a lot now, which is really, really interesting to me. Because that means out there in the Pokemon world, there is a character that could be Hal's father that we've already met. And I think I found who it is, so let's look at what we know. So the first thing that occurred to me is to look for people that of course genetically look like they could be Hala's son. And throughout the Pokemon world there are plenty. I mean, there's Chuck or Crash Awake or Bruno. Very tough looking Pokemon trainers. They could definitely be the son of a great kahuna. But then I thought no, Hal's response was to this character being in the Kanto region. He said, oh, the character's in the Kanto region so I can visit them. Oh, and also my dad. Meaning that's likely a good place to look. Hal expects his dad to be in Kanto, so maybe Bruno was a good one to go for. But then I found a better character. Kanto's very own, Brawly. Okay, hang on a second, Birdkeepertoby. I've only been around 5 minutes, and I know that Brawly is not from Kanto. What are you talking about? Well, the thing is, actually, before being in Hoenn, he was. According to a random black belt trainer in Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red on one of the Sevi Islands, he says that Brawly used to train under Bruno. In fact, he's also trained under Chuck. Brawly is a fighting Pokemon gym leader, so it makes sense that he would train under these two. And actually, when you start to think about Brawly as a candidate for Hal's father, it makes a lot of sense. First of all, looking at the Pokemon timeline, these games, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, happened at the same time as Red and Blue. And as we've seen by Red's age, and we know generally from the timeline anyway, with Sun and Moon coming after X and Y, these games are about 20 years later. Brawly is clearly in his early 20s at the beginning of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so this is the perfect amount of time to place him in between the ages of Hala and Hal. On top of this, if you take a look at the Pokemon in his team, being Machop and Makuhita, both of these Pokemon are found on Mealy Island. Makuhita is even a Pokemon he shares with his father, Hala. And I mean, just look at that design. You could very easily mistake him for being Hal's older brother. Of course, that was 20 years ago. The only problem you might find is that his hair is blue, whereas the other rest of the family, they have either white hair because they're old or brown hair because they're young. But remember, this is a video game where characters have loads of different hair colors, and if all else fails, there's hair dye. But it's not just that it's likely, symbolically it makes a lot of sense. Hala is known for being very, very strict, except he's too soft on Hal, according to an NPC. And apparently this is because Hal saw him get angry once. This guy can get very angry, and he's very strict and serious when it comes to his sumo training. So imagine him trying to train a son who's maybe more rebellious like Brawly. Because let's face it, Brawly is all about chilling, dude. Surf's up, bro. He's all about relaxing. Well, maybe Brawly just didn't like being the son of that level of strict, which is exactly what Hal said. And so he takes to the waves and ends up on the Sevi Islands and then later Hoenn, both areas that are kind of similar in nature to his home island of Meli Island. And on top of that, he's a beach bum. He's a surfer dude. There are lots of beaches in Alola for sure. It's more than likely that he surfed on those. But again, also symbolically, Hal's first Pokemon that he catches is a Pichu, which in Alola evolves into the surfing Raichu. But not only that, In the last games released, Brawly went through a little bit of a redesign, going from a very pale white to being tanned, potentially suggesting a new heritage for him. Why would they bother with this level of redesign unless they have plans for this character? Maybe it's a setup for something coming on later down the line. I do hope so, but what do you think about this Pokemon theory? Do you think it's possible? Don't forget, if you leave a like or a comment on this video, it acts as an entry for your chance to win a copy of Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is ending in just a couple of days, so make sure you check the description to see if that giveaway is still going on. And again, leave your comment, what do you think of this theory? And please, leave a like, it does help. So hi, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeepertoby. That makes you a Pokemon Master!